Hello, my little fair ladies and little fair men. How are you? Well, I'm here to tell you a short story. Are you all set? Let's get started. The name of the story is A Glass of Milk. So, what happens is, once upon a time, there was a little boy who was very poor. All he could afford was to go to school. And sometimes he didn't have money to buy food. So one day, as he was coming back from school, he was very hungry, extremely hungry. He dragged himself into his home, looked at the pitcher. It was empty, the cooking pans were empty, and he didn't know what to do. Then he thought, maybe if I have a glass of water, I'll feel better. He did not believe in getting things for free. He did not like to get favors. So he closed his house and walked to his neighbor's house. He knocked there, and out came a young girl. And she said, "Hello, aren't you my neighbor?" "Yes." Boy, Harry said, "I'm Harry and I live very close to you. I'm your neighbor. May I ask you for a glass of water? I'll be very grateful." The young lady Fiona said, "Sure." And she looked at him, gave him a smile, and went in. Then she thought about it. And guess what she did? She took milk and poured it in a glass instead of water, because she had realized that the boy was in a very bad shape and he was almost fainting with hunger, with empty stomach. So she went and presented the glass of milk to him. "Oh, no, ma'am, you're so kind, but I don't have the money to pay for milk. So how can I take this glass of milk from you?" She said, "It's okay. You didn't ask for it, but I am giving it to you because I'm your neighbor, right? And I'm like your older sister. So what's the harm in taking a glass of milk from the neighbor?" He said, "All right." And then he drank the glass of milk, and immediately he felt very well. And somehow time went by. Now that lady Fiona also grew old. She was much older, and then suddenly she had a disease. Now this disease was very unusual, and she had to be in the hospital for 6 months. Oh my God. And she thought, who will pay the bill for 6 months? And who will treat me? Who will give me the treatment? Who will look after me? Well, but in the hospital, there was this young doctor, Dr. Philip. Dr. Harry Philip. Yes, you guessed it right. But he called himself Dr. Philip. Now, when he looked at her, came to check her in the hospital in a room, he recognized her, but he did not tell her. And he was very kind to her and spoke to her and told her that she would be hospitalized for 6 months. And after that, surely she'll be absolutely fine and recovered. And she barely closed her eyes, Fiona, and said, "Okay," because she did not have the strength to talk about anything. And so gradually, month after month, Dr. Philip would come and visit her in the morning and speak gently and kindly to her, and then he would sit with her at night till she fell asleep. Now this went on for 6 months, and as the doctor had said, she was actually recovered. And she was recovered from her illness, and now it was time to go home. Well, she was very happy. She had the strength to get up from the bed, but she was very worried. She had a whole burden on her shoulders. Who's going to pay my bills? Who's going to pay my bills? How will I be able to pay the bill of the hospital? Now, when the nurse came to discharge her, she congratulations, Ma'am Fiona, now you can go home. But why are you so worried? You don't look happy. Oh, I was just wondering, how will I pay the bill? How will I pay the bill? Oh, you don't have to worry about that, the nurse said. Your bill has been paid already. Really? How's that possible? Then nurse showed her the hospital papers, and guess what it said? Hospital bill all cleared, all paid by a glass of milk several years ago. Oh, it struck Fiona. Oh my God! She realized and she remembered this Dr. Phillips was Harry, and he was the doctor, and he had repaid her for that glass of milk by treating her, by being so kind to her like a family member. She was so grateful and so happy. And then Dr. Philip took her home so she wouldn't be alone. And she was so grateful. So do you realize if you do one act of kindness, it goes such a long way and can come back to you also. So always remember to be out there to help others, even strangers. What do you know? That kind deed would come back to you in a multiplied manner. So always remember to be kind, and you know our motto, which is be good to your parents and be kind to the poor and needy. So how did you like the story? Let me know. Bye-bye.